I stopped drinking coffee for 1 week and I have been abstaining from coffee for 14 days. Here is what happened. So, if you want to learn about my experience, keep watching. So, let me tell you a little bit about my goals. My goals were not mostly about like physically abstaining, detoxing, or anything like that. My goals was to just observe how it affects me, maybe physically, but mainly mentally, on my cognition, on my focus. But here I will share my experience that came with all this process. So first 3 4 days, it was really like I felt my energy was getting lower, especially in the afternoon hours. And I was not sure if it's coffee or if it was due to training or because of anything else. But now after 14 days, I can say that it was totally because of the coffee. And if you think that you are not that bad with coffee, I mean, that you don't drink so much coffee that you would feel this kind of differences and it's like unnecessary and maybe even evil thing to do not to drink coffee, that's exactly what I thought because I was drinking like 2 to 3 shots of espresso a day, and that is just like 14 to 21 grams of coffee, which is below 200 milligrams of caffeine, which is not much, right? And we know different people respond to caffeine to different extents. So some of us are better at metabolizing coffee, which means that some of us are more receptive to it, some are not. But I also noticed that my sleep hours increased. So, and with that also quality of my sleep. I used to sleep for 7 hours, now it's 8 hours. And I was not like waking up or having trouble falling asleep, but definitely that is something that I noted. I sleep 1 hour longer, and that was within the first week. Then I started also introducing coffee back in my life. So I made, for example, espresso, shot of espresso, and what I found was amazing, and it was actually alongside with my goals. With coffee, I was able to focus. I used to drink it while I was writing in the aforementioned afternoon hours, and I would feel like, well, I have enough energy and everything. Then, when I actually removed coffee, I noticed that first, I'm a little bit sleepy, I have a mild headache, but I also started having trouble focusing, and I was thinking, like, coffee, 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 which is really not a good relationship, I believe, to have with food or with any substance or anything, right? And probably you don't notice these things unless you remove it from your life, so you cannot compare. So if you are somebody like that you think like, for me it's no problem, but whatever, it sounds like an addict talking, right? I can stop anytime I can. So having said that, now uh, after this 1 week, I started to being or getting also my focus back. I was able to focus on my things, and when I started drinking coffee, for example, when I had coffee, when I finally made it one shot of espresso, I think it was on day 6, so just before the week or on the day 7, I had a sip of coffee, and I remember the moment. See and taste like what's the difference? What will be the difference? So um, I don't have any expectations. Let's see. Mm, Pretty good taste, mild. I was afraid that I would throw it away because I don't know what coffee it was. That's exactly where I want it to be. Enjoy it. Enjoy the taste. I started noticing the mild taste. For me, coffee has become something like I just drink it. I love the taste, but I just drink it like habitually. But now I started really focusing on the taste and enjoying all these tastes. And that was a really amazing experience. So even if you enjoy coffee, and you abstain it from it for a certain period of time, and then you reintroduce it, you might enjoy it even more. And another magical thing happened, and that was that I just had one sip of coffee, and that was enough. I was completely satisfied. I did not have to finish the shot. I did not have to do anything else. I just had one sip of coffee, and that was it. I did not need more. I actually put it in my fridge. Don't kill me now. And it's there. I mean, I have one shot of espresso for 3 days because I just drink 1/3 of a cup, not the cup of measurement, but third of the cup of espresso. I have a sip, and that's okay. And actually, yesterday I had a workout, and because I have similar workouts, I have my training plan. It's not like I'm doing one day something, another day completely something different. I can compare my progress and how I feel during the training and so on, which I recommend you to do as well. But anyway, my point is I had an espresso and I jumped on a bike, on a stationary bike, and my performance doubled on the bike. That means twice the distance covered at the same effort, or the effort that I perceived. And this is widely known about caffeine having this like ergogenic effect. It delays fatigue, it is used for endurance sports, and it increases time trial performance. But I thought, that I can keep drinking coffee and be like sensitive to it and so on. So basically, my body sensitized to the effects of caffeine. So when I have caffeine before workout, I mean, it makes a dramatic difference, at least for me. And this is something, if you are like an athlete, you can experience it and experience. I mean, you can try it for yourself and see how it goes for you. So experiment with it. The good time to get more sensitive is actually 20 days. That is what is recommended based on recent reviews. But you see, I really got sensitive to caffeine again after just, what was it, like 7 days or something like that. And probably this will be also the dose dependent, so how much you were consuming before abstaining from coffee and afterwards. So this is something to think about. Besides that, I have reviews on the caffeine for the sports performance, and also as a pre-workout, and why I don't recommend using it or using caffeine as a pre-workout habitually. And you can find these down in the description of the video below. So one more important thing to mention, I believe, is that why or when would you consider, or you might consider, to actually start abstaining from coffee, and try it for yourself. So if you are an endurance athlete and you have some big important event coming up, it's good to have like caffeine sensitivity, as many these energy gels also contain caffeine. But it's also good to not have it as part of your nutrition, but having like it's good to have it like separately, to take it separately, like a caffeine pill or something like that. Besides that, if you drink caffeine to get energy, I believe that is wrong approach to things, because this is what our society does. We work in gyms, we work or work out in the gyms, we work in offices, we don't have enough movement and other things, and you can feel tired. And that's when many people reach actually for coffee, for caffeine. And I don't believe that this is the best approach or the best thing to do, because sometimes it's enough that you start moving a little bit. You go out for a walk, get some fresh air, or even rest, and that is when you get all that energy back. So take care of yourself instead of doping yourself with caffeine and pushing and doing more, and that comes back to you because you need more caffeine and more sugar. And it's like a never ending cycle until you burn out. So be mindful about that. And that's actually when you might want to remove caffeine from your life. Also, if you think or if you notice, but you need to get first mindful about it. When do you drink coffee? At which occasions? Like I started. Mm, I was drinking it because I enjoyed it in social occasions, but then I started drinking it because of, I had something hard to do. And instead of doing the hard thing, I made myself coffee. It changed my stay, it made me feel good about myself. I was enjoying a cup of coffee, shot of espresso, but I didn't finish, complete the thing I had to do. I just postponed it. This thing was still there. So I was masking or escaping from emotions. And this is what we do not only with coffee, but especially with different kind of foods. And you might know it as emotional eating. So there is thing emotional coffee drinking, right? So emotion or coffee abuse, I would call it. There is alcohol abuse, food abuse. So really be mindful about when are you drinking the coffee. And the last thing is, as I mentioned, that I started enjoying coffee much more now. And that is like if you keep drinking the same coffee, you might get bored with it. You are looking for some kind of maybe different type of coffee. You are just bored with it, you are fed up with it. Why not stop? Probably because it's scary. And when you stop like for a few days, you might have the same coffee and suddenly it's all amazing. It's like when you are hungry, the food suddenly starts tasting much better. So these are my observations. Once again, if you want to get more detailed information from my experience, they are written down in the blog below. And let me know what you think, what are your experience. Daniel Weiss signing out. You have a great day. And yes, I do keep drinking coffee. I didn't completely remove it from my life because it was simply unnecessary. I still enjoy it.